Action.
What's going on out there, YouTube? What's going on out there, Team Hollywood? It's your boy, Hollywood Sports. What's going on, guys? What's going on? You seen the title, man. You seen the title, man. I want to talk about the Madden community right now. I want to talk about the Madden community. I get confused sometimes when I'm looking at the Madden community and I go, What's the deal, man? What's the problem? Why are we like this? And I'm not trying to say everybody's like this. What I'm about to talk about, I'm not trying to say it's everybody, but it's a lot of people. Okay? And what I want to talk about is how the game is playing right now. Madden NFL 24. Okay? I got my notes here, guys, because I don't want to ramble. I'm a rambler when my mind's spinning 100 miles an hour. And I get emotional, I get all off track. Okay? What I want to talk about is, remember when the beta came out? Madden 24 beta. Okay? We were having fun. We liked the way the beta came. We said, EA, don't touch it. We said, EA, don't touch it. We said, EA, don't touch the game. Majority of the Madden community liked the way the game was playing. We just liked the way it was going. All the new additions, the game was playing pretty well. Now it's playing perfect, as we know. It wasn't playing perfect, but I thought it was the best playing game in a long time. Probably ever in Madden, okay? But what I'm talking about when I say the community confuses me sometimes, okay? Let me just go over my notes because I'm starting to ramble already, okay? The community was complaining about too many interceptions. Am I right or wrong? The community was complaining. Again, I'm not saying it was 100%. I'm not trying to say it was everybody, but a lot of people was complaining about interceptions. Too many interceptions in the game, right? Now, let's talk about this. Let's break it down. We were getting tip drills. People were throwing in the double coverage, or the receiver, the ball get tipped, right? And the defense, the cornerbacks were catching the football. We call it tip drill, right? When that ball got tipped, somebody was going to catch it, right? Even at the now, a lot of people complain about that. Listen to me now. I'm getting to a point when I say I get confused when I listen to the Madden community, when I'm watching videos, live streams, all of that stuff. Okay? Now, people were forcing passes instead of taking sacks. And what I mean by that, when they didn't take the sack, the ball comes out just late and a lineman would catch the ball. A defensive lineman would catch the ball for an interception. It's another way to intercept. And I like the way the game was playing when you talk about tip drills and the ball was out of the receiver's reach and maybe he tipped it and the cornerback caught it, or when you throwing the ball as a quarterback and you just barely getting the ball out because you don't want the sack and that ball flips up in there and the defensive lineman catches it, interception. I like that stuff because you got to learn how to take the sack. Okay, I'm getting to a point. Okay, now again, that was another area where people complained about interceptions when the D-line was catching interceptions. Too many interceptions in the game. Okay, people were being punished for throwing in the triple double coverage. They were getting interceptions because people, they just throw it, right? They just throw it. People just pick plays and run that play regardless of what defense they're running. They see. They just used to running the play. They might do some hot routes. That's about it. They don't care what defense they see. They're going to run the offense the way they run their offense. They were throwing in the double and triple coverage. And most 9 times out of 10, that ball was being intercepted. People were complaining about interceptions when that happened. You're throwing in the double coverage, triple coverage. You're supposed to be intercepted. You can't throw through that type of tight window when you got 3 guys around the ball and you don't get it knocked down or intercepted. Another issue, people complaining about interceptions. Okay? Again, the Madden community to me doesn't make sense. They don't make sense when they complain about stuff like that. When all it is football. You don't throw in the double coverage. You learn how to take the sack sometimes. Otherwise, you get the tip drill going. It happens in the NFL all the time. The San Francisco 49ers. The quarterback throwing the ball. It got tipped a lot of times. Who caught it? The defense. The cornerbacks. The linebackers. They catch those tip balls. That's what happens. We see it in the NFL every Sunday, every Thursday, every Monday. There's tip passes that get caught. Also, those tip passes at the line, when the D-line tip those passes, they catch them sometimes. It happens in the NFL. But what happens in Madden? Most of the community complains about interceptions. Guys, I'm just telling you how I feel. I'm not getting on nobody. I'm not mad at nobody. I'm just telling you, you guys confuse me. You complain about too many interceptions. Now check this out. Right now, a lot of you guys are throwing in the double, triple coverage, and your ball don't get intercepted. A lot of y'all can't click on to your defense to get a pick. You can't click on. In a lot of situations, you get a bad animation. Right? Does that happen? You can't pick the ball off. Guys aren't being punished for throwing in the double and triple coverage. The corners are just swatting the ball before you can click on. They're just swatting the ball. Even when their heads are turned. When they're turned, they're swatting the ball this way. They're swatting the ball that way. Right? Is that happening in the game as we speak? I'm getting to a point. Okay? A lot of knockdowns in Madden. A lot of guys said, man, why didn't I get that interception animation? Why didn't I get that pick? I should have got that pick. Now let me drop my notes. Let me say what I want to say. The reason why you guys aren't getting that interceptions, the reason why the CPU is swatting footballs down like flies, is because you guys were complaining about interceptions at the beginning of the year. During the beta, the first month of the game release, you guys were complaining about 2 interceptions. So what did EA do? They turned down the interception slider. Now you don't get those tip drill interceptions that bounce around to 2 or 3 different players and the ball hits the ground. Nobody catches it. Is that real? If you watch an NFL game, do you think that ball is going to bounce to 2 or 3 hands and fall to the ground? No. I know it's not real. I know it's just a game, but you guys are complaining. Which way you want to go? Do you want to see the interceptions? You didn't want that. Now you're not getting interceptions. You're complaining. You complain there's too many interceptions. Now you're complaining that there's not enough interceptions. That's why I get confused by a lot of you guys in the Madden community. You say you want a realistic game, a game that plays realistic, but when you get it, you complain. Right? You either like it one way or not. You can't flip and flop. You either want the interceptions or you don't. They turn the interception slider down. We don't get no tip drills. The defensive line, on occasion, the defensive line might still catch one. Maybe 1 out of 10 after the updates. But nobody's getting interception, guys. And when you get them, you get them. But when they throwing in double, triple coverage, they're not taking the sack. They get that last minute throw and the ball hits the ground. Everybody does that before they get the sack. They do that quick throwaway and the ball hits the ground and they saved. But when the game first came out, those were quarterback fumbles. Those were quarterback fumbles. But everybody complained about that too. So what do y'all want to do, man? Just leave the game to play like football. Football is football. Football is football. Football is football. If you're throwing interceptions, go into practice mode and fix it. Learn your plays. But I'm not going to get on that soapbox, guys. But I'm just saying, you guys confuse me so much. Either you want the interceptions or you don't. Don't complain about interceptions and then come back like people are doing right now. Go watch Madden. People play Madden right now. All those interceptions being dropped. Go watch. People are throwing on 4th down, throwing in the triple coverage and completing them. Go watch. No interceptions. Out of 5 potential interceptions, you might get 1. Or 2 out of 10, or 3 out of 10. People throwing in the bad coverage. They getting saved because they turned down the interception slider because you guys were complaining about There's too many interceptions in the game. This ain't a real game. Why y'all trying to make it real? There's too many interceptions. But now you're telling me there is no interceptions. There's a lack of interceptions. Think about that, guys. That's what I wanted to talk about in this video. I get confused sometimes. But let's just let football be football. And if you throw interceptions, get better. I'm Hollywood Sports. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next video.